Like, there's a lot of music in there. You could do a lot of damage with just 2 or 3 strings. I am a huge fan of studying principles one string at a time. It's so funny that when we learn guitar, we're generally learning stuff across all 6 strings at once. But all 6 strings is so much information to truly digest. It's so much easier if we can break it up into smaller little pieces, 1 string at a time, graduate to 2 strings, 3 strings, so on and so forth, and really build up to playing things across all 6 strings. So when we first start learning the guitar, we're learning like a G chord across all 6 strings. Again, this guitar is up a half step right now, so if you're playing along at home, that'll sound like G sharp. But the shapes that I'm playing, just a G chord, right? Or the famous minor pentatonic shape that we all know and love across all 6 strings right from the beginning, right? But it's too much information. If we started doing these things on just 1 string, like if we learned a G chord on just 1 string and we understood what notes made up a G chord, then we would have such a deeper musical understanding of the G chord once we put it all together with all 6 strings. Same with the minor pentatonic scale. Learning it on just 1 string and then slowly graduating to 2 strings. And then we can graduate to 3 strings. It's like, how often do you play a minor pentatonic scale with just 3 strings? Like, there's a lot of music in there. But we think in these huge 6-string, like, massive pieces of fretboard. But like, you can do a lot of damage with just 2 or 3 strings. And you get a deeper understanding of the principles themselves. I hope that dog is barking in A minor pentatonic. I doubt it. But anyway, this concept, it really goes for anything on the guitar. It goes for memorizing the notes of the fretboard. When you memorize the notes of the fretboard, do it 1 string at a time. Don't jump in across all 6 strings. It's gonna be way too much information. It's gonna be overwhelming. Learning scales. You learn like how I just did with the pentatonic scale. You do it on 1 string, then do it on 2 strings, then do it on 3 strings, then do it on 4 strings, so on and so forth. You can do this with chords. You can do this with melodies. You can do this with arpeggios. Honestly, anything. And the principle is that when we're practicing guitar, we always want to find this kind of perfect balance point where something is a challenge, but it's not so challenging that we don't understand what's going on. Because when something is so challenging that we don't truly understand it, then we can't alter it for our own benefit. We can't think about playing it in different contexts or making up our own exercises based off of it. Like, if all you know is just this one shape and you don't know why these notes are the notes that are chosen and how they're constructed together, then you can't find, like how I was able to find another place to play that same exact scale on just 3 strings. You're not going to be able to change it to make it something that you want. Maybe you're playing the minor pentatonic scale, and then all of a sudden you want it to be major. It's like, if you don't understand what those notes are doing, why those notes are there, and how it's constructed, then you can't change it in a meaningful way. And being able to change stuff in a meaningful way, that's creativity right there, basically. That's a nice little definition. But yeah, as guitarists, we're always kind of struggling with this. We're always struggling with this concept that the guitar is easy to play, but it's hard to understand. And I think this is a big reason why people jump to just playing through all 6 strings, playing chords, all 6 strings, because you can have never played the guitar before and just pick it up and put your hands on a G chord and play across all 6 strings. It's easy to play, but it's difficult to understand. Okay, here's the root, here's the third, and then the fifth, and then the root, and then the fifth, and then the root again, and what those notes mean, and what the names of those notes are, and how those notes function within the chord. And if you wanted to change it to another kind of a chord, like if we wanted to change it to a sus chord, right? Like how would you do that? And that's the kind of stuff that you get to do when you have this deep understanding of the fretboard and of the guitar and of the fundamentals of music, is that you can take the things that you know and you can alter them in specific, meaningful ways so that you can create the music that you want to create. But to finish the point that I had just like 30 seconds ago, the guitar is so easy to play and so difficult to understand. And I think that's a big reason why people want to just, jump straight to playing across all 6 strings. You sit down, you learn an arpeggio, like a major 7th arpeggio, and you're just playing it across. You're like automatically playing it across all 6 strings instead of slowing down a little bit, get it down on 1 string first, right? And then playing it across 2 strings, which you can't play the whole major 7 arpeggio across 2 strings, but just, work with me here. You just start with just the first 2 before you finish it with the 3, right? And then the 4th string. And then the 5th string. And just hang out there for a bit, You don't have to jump all the way to 6 strings so quickly. You can take your time, step by step. But basically, what I'd like to finish with is, even though the guitar is difficult to understand, to the extent to which we do understand what's going on, we can change things and alter things and express ourselves further. And my favorite way to make sure that we're understanding things appropriately and we're asking of ourselves appropriate challenges is to study concepts 1 string at a time. So again, whether you're memorizing the notes of the fretboard, whether you're learning scales, whether you're learning arpeggios, whatever else, modes, do it 1 string at a time. It's so good for you. It requires patience. It requires patience and discipline, and that's why no one does it, because it's hard. But you are a different kind of guitar player. You're here watching this channel because you want what other guitar players don't have, and you're willing to do what it takes to get there. You have patience, you have discipline, and you're willing to put in the good work. So let me know in the comments below what concepts you're going to be practicing 1 string at a time. And I will most definitely see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.